My audio is lower than yours.
Do I need to turn myself down before you start fiddling with a bunch of stuff over there?
You sound fine to me on Clubhouse, but am I fine for you with level-wise, or am I a little low for you?
No, you're good for me.
I'm good for you? Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to do that. Huh. All right. I'm going to try one other quick thing. I'm going to go apps.
I need to buy a wireless charger.
And I'm going to hit this button. You're going to hear a noise, but I'm going to talk and see if holy shit, that's a lot.
Whoa.
Okay.
Yeah, that was really loud.
Yeah, that was loud. That was jarringly loud.
Yes.
All right, so now I'm going to go to System Settings, Sound. And while I mess with this,
wait,
how have you been?
What happened to your sound source?
I haven't reinstalled it yet.
Oh, that's right, because you did the whole setup.
Yeah.
All right, so Mike's gonna fix his audio while he's doing that. We're doing the show right now. I am doing good. So to update everybody, because we didn't talk about this in the last episode. Myself, Tia, a friend of mine, and her dad were in a car accident a couple of weeks back on May 30th. Actually, is the date. Coming back from Talladega. I know we were not at the Speedway. Was doing the tech symposium. Generally speaking, Tia is still in the hospital. However, she has been moved to her own room. She's out of ICU. She's recovering. She's, able to get up and move around a bit, but she is still in a ton of pain and still has a lot of recovering to do physically. Her dad's relatively okay. He's been moving around even more than me. I am bruised. I'm probably going to go in. Well, not probably. I'm definitely going to go in and get myself rechecked because I'm still hurting. And there are a few concerning things I want to make sure there's not anything to worry about. But basically, we're okay. Nobody died. That's the important thing. Nobody died. So
yeah, that's the important thing, right?
Yep. As you can imagine, that has thrown monkey wrenches into all sorts of things, though. I've had to very rapidly, a whole lot faster than I wanted to, restructure how I run my business, spirals with the vending. So, I have had a new employee. I think I mentioned that on the show before we got into weird recordings, that, I had just hired a new employee. And so she was being trained. Well, now she's been kind of thrown into the deep end. And like, yeah, you better learn how to swim. But she's doing great. She's been coming along great. She's been handling things. A few mistakes here and there. Mostly it's been either something didn't stick the first time I said it, or it's something that, you would have learned that with me on site with you. And I've been having to send her out to do stuff by herself. So not unexpected that there would be some mix-ups or a little bit of confusion here and there, but everything seems to be working. Nearly have everything back on track to where I can give her just a routine schedule to run, but as you can imagine, with me missing just about a whole week of anything, got a lot of catch up to do. And I'm doing the thing I tell Mike not to do.
I was muted apparently, and Jim told me that I was muted. So, that's what happens when you mess with your audio and you're trying to fix things. Just saying. Yep. And this just reiterated to me that I need to go to System Settings, and I need to go to Accessibility, and I need to go over here and turn the volume for spoken content down, because when Zoom told me that I was muted in Clubhouse, I heard it through my phone.
Oh, because it was so loud.
No, because it was because Zoom. So when you're grabbing audio from Zoom and Audio Hijack, it grabs the spoken content for the alert that told me that I was muted and broadcasted that into Clubhouse.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, it's annoying. And I knew that. It's one of those things I hadn't fixed. So anyways, what I was saying is the situation isn't good, and it's good that the people are recovering, but it's also good that you get to throw an employee in both feet first and see how she does, because it's a good stress test.
Yep.
So
I think she'll stick. I mean, she would have quit when she had to go basically do the rest areas by herself one night. So yeah, it's working. Like I said, it forced me into doing some things a little quicker and in a less organized way than I wanted to. But it's working, and it proves, at least to me, from a business owner standpoint, that I am relatively agile, which I was able to make the adjustments that I had to make. You know, I wasn't stubborn and pushed like, well, no, I have to go with you because you have no idea what you're doing. And you're probably going to screw something up, and I don't want that. So I'm going to go with you. And then we never would have got a lot of stuff done. It does take her a little bit longer because she is learning, but she'll pick up in speed. I physically really shouldn't be doing a whole lot anyway. So I've been at the house. Interesting. Last night, we had a conversation because I did go up to see Tia on Friday. We are recording for the people listening after the fact to the recording, to the podcast itself. We're recording on Sunday.
Yes.
Cause we had some weather yesterday and the internet was down, and then Spectrum was like, "Oh, your internet outage should be resolved." And I'm like, "No, it's not." Cause number one, the Unify Dream Machine has not said your internet is back online yet.
Right.
Two, when I sent a ping to apple.com, yeah, it couldn't get anywhere. So yeah.
And I'm sorry, Spectrum, I trust my Unify alerts more than I trust your remote.
More than I trust you, exactly. Because that's how I found out it was down, was because I got a notification from the Unify system. So yeah, that needless to say, I am waiting very impatiently for AT&T to finish wiring up all these connections on the poles. They are moving on down the street with hooking stuff up at the poles. However that works, I don't really know what they're doing, but they're doing stuff on the poles now. They're no longer digging in the ground, so we should get there soon, hopefully. Fiber. Mike has fiber.
I do. I have fiber. It's okay. And that sounds so entitled to me to say it's okay, but man, it's good because it works. But like, I don't know how to explain it. You might like cable worked fine. Fiber is nice to have because it seems to be more stable for me, at least. And we hesitated doing this for quite a while because of all the experiences others had. But fiber's been pretty stable, and the high speeds are nice, but honestly, I don't really use that much of the high speeds. I think the only time I use the high speeds is when I'm resetting my Mac, and stuff gets downloaded from Dropbox and other content providers to get onto my Mac, but I'm not uploading as much as I used to. I guess it's good for streaming.
Yeah, it's good for streaming.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, though. Like, you're right. Like, when I switched to AT&T fiber before in the house that we previously lived in on the other side of town, it was definitely more stable. I could tell the difference in speeds for sure. Like, when I would download stuff, it would happen much quicker. Uploading stuff really is the thing that fiber, because you have that symmetric speed. So whatever you're paying for, whatever you're getting out, it definitely goes to it. But
I'm laughing because we're talking about internet issues and your audio's cutting out.
Yeah, because
I didn't catch a word you just said.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man,
yeah.
And I sound so clear locally in my own head. Oh, and Zoom just told me my internet connection is unstable.
I was like, I wonder if that's my end or not. And then I started just talking and I heard myself in Clubhouse. And I'm like, nope, it's got to be his end then.
Nope, it's me. It's me for sure. Because it's been raining today too.
Oh, that rain. That rain will get your internet out.
Yep, at least with Spectrum.
Yeah, at least there.
Yeah, it definitely does. But yeah, fiber is great. I didn't use the speeds that much myself either on a day-to-day basis, but it was nice for streaming. And having that bandwidth means you get less lag across your entire house with everybody else using devices. Like, with fiber for sure, I never had to, like, other times, like, I have Backblaze running. Maybe I should pause Backblaze. That might help. Think about that. Because on fiber, I wouldn't think about stuff like that. Like, oh, I should stop Dropbox syncing, or I should, stop Google Drive or whatever. It's like, nope, it's fine. We got plenty of bandwidth in here to do things that we need to do. Been looking for some mobile internet solutions. I think we talked about this at one point. My options as I see them right now are hot, like just buying a hotspot from somewhere. But I want it to be unlocked. I don't want to just have a hotspot or a mobile router that is locked to a specific company. I want the flexibility to change.
Have you found one or not yet?
I found a couple options, but I hadn't pulled the trigger. I mean, seemingly to get something that is high quality and kind of rugged so it can, deal with being out in a work environment, a little expensive. For the
device itself or for the service or both?
For the device. Service I could get fairly cheaply through US Mobile, which I'm loving US Mobile. But yeah, it's the devices that are rather expensive. So if anybody has any recommendations, would appreciate it. You can feedback at technicallyworking.show, of course, or on Mastodon.
Yeah, about that Mastodon. I ain't been on there in quite a while. Just saying. I should probably get back on there. Well, I think I was on there like earlier this week, but it seems like quite a while for me because there for a little while I was on every day talking with people and being social on social networks. Imagine that.
Yeah. I don't remember the last time I checked it. But I do have Mona notifications on, so I don't recall seeing anything. Except, well, here's the thing though. I have been on Android for most of this week, so.
And why is that?
Well, one, because I've been saying I was going to do it. So I did actually start out by moving the Spiral's business number over to the Pixel 9 Pro. Because I did want to spend more time with the phone. I like the phone enough, just holding it and kind of basically using it. Like, I really should try to get out and see what Android does now, because I don't know. Like, I haven't used Android in a carry phone environment in a while. It's been mostly like, testing specific things when necessary, or, let me check out this app works on Android that just came out or something. But other than that, I haven't really carried an Android phone on a routine basis. So I started out by switching the phone number for the business, and I kept my personal number on my iPhone. I did set up the iPhone to forward my calls if I didn't pick up. So it didn't instantly forward them, but it will forward them if I didn't pick up on the iPhone. I very quickly realized one thing. Mike's question, though, to go back to that, though. So I installed the beta on Monday. I was very enthusiastic on Monday. One, because Tia actually got the breathing tube out, so she called and she could talk. So that was amazing. And I heard
you installed the beta on the number she called.
Yeah, after she called. Yeah, I did that.
Okay.
So
sounds like something I would do.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, I installed it on my iPad mini first, but the phone app doesn't work. At least it's not working now. Like it may not be intended to work the way that I thought that I wanted it to work. I was like, I could just turn my iPad into a giant phone, right? This will be great.
No, I think you need to use continuity, and it would use your phone.
Yeah, that's what I think it wants to do too. That's what it seemed like it wants to do. But hey, I was hopeful. I tried, and I was like, yeah, that didn't work. Okay. Well, I can't test out the phone app features really then. I guess I need to put it on my phone. All right. So I did that. At some point mid-week, my phone stopped talking. I'll say it might have been Tuesday evening or Wednesday morning, but my iPhone stopped talking. I could tell it was responding to gestures, for a bit, but then I messed around and got myself in a state to where I couldn't tell if VoiceOver was on or off. I actually think the phone had froze at that point. So I had to do the hard reset, which I had to, of course, look up the instructions for because I didn't remember how to do it. It's press the volume up, press the volume down, then press and hold the power button.
But don't press the power button with one of those volume keys and hold it together for a while, because that does other unintended.
Yeah, that does other things. I turned off that set off the alarm thing though. Yeah, I could see myself getting in a scenario where like VoiceOver wasn't on and I was trying to do something. And yeah, I ended up calling 911 by mistake. So yeah, I'm not doing that. Yeah, but quick press of the volume up, then the volume down, and then press and hold the power button. And it says hold it until the apple comes up on the screen. If you have enough vision to see the apple is there, that's awesome. If not, I don't know, just hold it for a while. Which is what I did.
Does your phone play a sound when it turns on?
It does, but it doesn't do it when you're powering back up off that mode.
Oh, good to know. Okay.
Yeah. Huh. So that's maybe a bug. I'm hoping that can be fixed. Drop some feedback to the beta team. Like, hey, here's the thing.
Yeah.
So at any rate, the phone came back up and still no voice, right? And I knew VoiceOver was on because I could flick on the screen and, feel the vibrations because I do have haptic feedback on. So I could feel that happening. I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on. Braille to the rescue.
Yeah.
I already had the Brilliant 40 paired to the iPhone, so I turned it on and it did connect even without having been able to enter my password, which I was concerned that was going to be the issue. It's like, oh, it's not going to connect because I haven't even unlocked the phone, after an initial restart, which is basically the mode I was in. Well, it connected. And I used that to identify the numbers to put in for my passcode, unlock the phone. I went and poked around in settings for a bit, didn't see anything that I had obviously turned off and screwed up. It occurred to me, I was turning my rotor like, oh, maybe the VoiceOver volume got turned way down or something. Right. Discovered I don't have volume on my rotor.
Surprise!
Yeah, that was a surprise. I was like, oh, I guess I have to go add that. But then I came across voices. I said, I've run into this on the Apple Watch before where on my Apple Watch 6 where it would get in a state where sometimes like it wouldn't talk. And if I would flick down, it would, the voice would get changed and it wouldn't talk. But if it was on a read or some other voice, it would talk. So anyway, I said, let me try that. And lo and behold, Eloquence was able to talk. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm using Eloquence for the rest of the summer. Because it works. And haven't had a problem since then. So
good.
Don't know what that was about, why that all of a sudden stopped working. I had not been using Eloquence previously. It was just on the rotor. I think because I put it there when they first added it and quickly decided like I really don't need this. If my life should went back to a high quality, nuanced voice. But the Braille saved me there. Otherwise, I would have had to get somebody to type in my passcode for me. Still wouldn't have been able to figure out what the problem was because I don't think I would have thought about rotating to voices and changing the voice. So glad I had that Braille display paired.
And we're not complaining because, yes, we do understand that this is beta 1 of a brand new OS. Aside from this, though, it's been, in my opinion, it's been pretty solid, yeah.
Look, I'm definitely not complaining. I know I'm on the beta. So it's just, that's the experience. And I've heard that from a couple of people now that apparently there are issues with the 15 Pro Max even getting the beta installed, which I had no problems. Like I just went in and turned on developer betas and I had a beta. It was huge.
Yes.
It's like 14.2 gigabytes. What in the world? The iPad's download was not that big. I think the iPad, when I did it on my iPad mini, it was like 6 gigs or something.
Oh, wow.
6 or 7 gigs. Okay. Yeah, it was dramatically lower. It was at least like half the size.
So I did a thing on Friday that I haven't even talked to Damashe about, and I went and said, well, since I'm going to have to send this Mac back to Apple, it looks like, because I'm still getting the issue where I get that loud clicking in my headphones most of the time. It's a little bit more inconsistent now, so I've got to try to track that down, but I have a box on the way that should be here tomorrow. I said, well, Self, you should go and create a new APFS volume in Disk Utility and install the beta to that APFS volume and see what that is like. So I installed it, and I was underwhelmed, but I also don't know what I was expecting, especially for beta 1. Like, I'm like, oh, it's Mac OS. Okay. There's a new category in VoiceOver utility called screen sharing. That's pretty cool. And when you go in there, you can set what stop interacting does when you're on a remote screen if you're at the top level. So by default, if you stop interacting, it returns your focus back to Mac OS. If you stop interacting at the top level, you can stop interacting with Finder, but if you are not interacting with Finder and you stop interacting again, that brings you apparently back to your Mac OS, which is kind of cool. You can toggle that and change that. But that was about it. I mean, I'm sure there's other things that are new, but there's a phone app on the Mac, which is a little clunky. Messages is not a pleasant experience on the new Mac OS. Again, beta 1, but it is not clean at all. You've seen this iteration of messages where there's toolbars in random places and you can't really get to your conversation list, but you can get to all the messages in the conversation that's selected. I imagine things will change. And for beta 1, it's whatever. But I just swapped back over to Mac OS, whatever I'm on right now that's not 26, and deleted the APFS volume, and then the beta was gone. Pretty simple.
Oh man, I wish you had told me about that though. I would have pulled out this Air and installed the beta on that so you could test the screen sharing.
I mean, it's just installed an APFS. I have the file right here in my downloads. It's like 450 gigabytes. Not quite that much. It's called Install Assistant, and it is 17.07 gigabytes. And when you install it, it installs a package that's like 45 megabytes. And I'm like, what in the hell? Like, yeah, it's weird.
But apparently we will be able to control the Mac remotely using VoiceOver. I
wonder if we'll be able to do better control of like mobile devices too.
Looking forward to that. That will probably kill a subscription to RIM for me.
Yeah, because you're not cross-platform too often, so.
Yeah. But I'm paying, so the thing is, like, I'm paying for RIM for the unattended access. I could get by with just buying hours and add nodes for any kind of cross-platform stuff I needed to do. Yeah. But I'm actually paying for a subscription so that I'll have unattended access capabilities to the Mac Mini, because it's in a whole other part of the house at the moment. And if I have to get up and go over there and put in a code to connect to it, I may as well just squat down on the floor right there by the network rack and use it. Operate it from there.
Yeah.
But I do it enough that $10 has been worth it.
There you go.
Yeah, good deal. So that's interesting and fascinating. I often feel like that when upgrading Mac OS though, like it's like, oh, okay. It's just Mac OS, like, because none of the visual stuff has an effect on us. That's probably the major thing that lets you know you're on a different operating system before you start poking around in certain apps and settings or something like that. You don't really realize that you're on a different version of anything.
So there's this trend of blind individuals, and it's been going on for a little while. But you know me, every once in a while I have to jump in on a trend. I don't claim to want to or to enjoy to, but every once in a while I will. Long story short, I'm creating a personal voice, and I'm going to make it my VoiceOver voice temporarily, just because Mallory told me not to, because she thinks it's weird to have, and I think it's a little weird to have your own voice as your VoiceOver voice.
I definitely don't want my own voice.
But I'm going to go through that process. I went through it yesterday, recorded 150 utterances, and plugged my phone in all night and let it charge overnight. And then I get up and it says 0 personal voices. So something went wrong there. So I discovered that you can do it on the Mac. And I'm like, well, that's even better, because then the quality will be even higher quality recording it on my current setup. So I'm going to go through that process, set a couple of hotspots. They say it should take me 15 minutes. So we'll see how long it actually takes, and leave my Mac plugged in overnight and see if it generates me a voice. And we'll see how well that works.
Yeah, I thought about doing a personal voice, but I don't want to do it with my voice. Like, I don't want to hear me talking all the time.
It's beta. but I'm going to mention this because it's kind of cool, and I hope it's not in here just because it's beta. Reset VoiceOver settings on your phone, which is amazing, and I am so glad for that, because often, if you want to reset, well, in the past, if you want to reset your VoiceOver settings, you have to reset all your settings, and that deletes any of your customizations that you've made as well. So, and then share VoiceOver settings between devices, which I have not played with. I don't know if you have.
No, I haven't tried it yet. Although I did think about it briefly when I was like, well, I wonder what I screwed up with VoiceOver on the phone. Maybe I should try to share the settings for the iPad. Make it come back.
3-finger tap and hold once you initiate that share with someone, and that'll turn VoiceOver on so you can go through, which is a weird gesture. I mean, I'm glad it's there, but that 3-finger tap and hold is a weird gesture, just saying.
Yeah, it is.
So,
interestingly enough, I've been doing a lot of 3-finger gestures on Android because that's how you have your rotor.
Yep, sure is. Sure is.
Pixel's been nice. It's interesting. I don't have a ton of stuff set up because initially it was going to just be a work phone. Then I realized I can't carry 2 phones. So going back to that point, I can't carry 2 phones like that. That is crazy. The forwarding calls thing worked great. Like I could pick up calls that came through from the iPhone number. The problem was messages, as it always is, right? That's the thing that makes people not want to even make the switch sometimes is messages. Wasn't getting iMessages. So I said, well, I guess I need to actually put the personal number on the Pixel. Do that thing. So I did that thing, and it's working out okay. It's fine.
Good. And he can give me an applause while we're on the phone.
Yeah, I can.
That is so weird. Like,
I don't understand the purpose of that at all.
I don't either. And you can't even add custom ones, I don't think, can you?
Not that I've noticed.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at settings to see if that's something that they've updated and added. But yeah, I don't even get the whole point of what they call audio emojis. Like, oh, we're going to give you a clap. It's like, I mean, maybe you're running a Zoom meeting off your phone or something.
Off of the PSTN phone, because if you're on your... Anyways. Another feature I heard about, I haven't played with it yet, but apparently in settings, in sounds and haptics, you can go pick which microphone you want it to default to. So if you're like me and you absolutely hate the microphones on the AirPod Pros and you want to wear your AirPod Pros but always record from your phone microphone on WhatsApp or in other utilities, you can go into your settings, sound and haptics, and pick your default microphone. Right now it's on auto, but you can change that. So yeah, cool times.
Yeah, I'm gonna change that for sure. Although I need to install WhatsApp on the Pixel because I don't have that installed.
Oh, that's on iOS, not on Pixel.
Yeah, I know. But it just reminded me when you said WhatsApp that I don't have WhatsApp installed or Signal installed on the Pixel. Well, I do have Signal installed. Signal
WhatsApp would solve all your cross-platform messaging issues. Just get everyone else to switch to WhatsApp.
Yeah, that's super simple to do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I am loving RCS messages on the Pixel. And they're encrypted. Which is nice, but I can send audio messages. Now, to be fair, on iPhone for me, I have been able to send audio messages to people that were on Android also. Yeah. So it's cool. It works. But messages, I have set up messages on the web so I can still text from my Mac.
That's still a thing?
That is still a thing.
Okay. And
now that I have dual SIM on the Pixel, it actually will let me switch SIMs if I needed to in the conversation. I don't know why you would want to do that, but if you needed to switch your SIM. Yeah, on the web.
Huh. Does it pull all of the messages in from both SIMs too? By the way, we are no longer in Clubhouse.
Okay.
I don't think I ever told you that.
Yeah, it does. So it catches messages from both SIMs. And if I wanted to, for some reason, switch the conversation line that was being used, there's a little pop-up that says, choose SIM. But by default, you reply from the number that they sent to. It now tells me via whichever SIM, so via Spirals or via Home when I send a message.
Okay.
So it's still a deal.
Can you have 2 eSIMs on the Pixel?
Yes, that's what I have.
Okay, because one of the phones, I don't remember which one it was. Maybe it was the
Pixel
Samsung.
5. No, the Pixel 5 was that way. I know for sure. I don't know if any of the Pixels in between there were also similar, but definitely the Pixel 5, you can only have one eSIM and one physical SIM active. Like you couldn't have 2 eSIMs. You can have more than one eSIM on the device, but you only have one eSIM active and then that one physical SIM to do dual SIM. But yeah, they're dual eSIM now. Because the iPhone's dual eSIM. Can't even put a SIM card in your iPhone anymore.
I can't.
No physical SIM.
No, I can't. No, I cannot.
Can you?
I don't think so. No, it's dual eSIM.
Yeah,
I think mine was the last one. Yeah.
I think yours was the first that did away with the SIM slot. The 13 was the last that had a physical SIM slot.
Yeah.
Which means I don't have any way to put any of my numbers onto something like, say, the Blind Shell. It don't support eSIM.
Yep.
But there's that. Android, again, has been interesting. I haven't super set it up, honestly, because I really kind of expected it just to be a work phone for a bit. But work kind of, and not in a work-life balance sort of situation, but just the way I've been setting things up. People who are connected to me only because of the vending business have that number, including my new employee, for example. Like she doesn't have my personal phone number.
Okay.
So if I put the Pixel down somewhere and run around with the iPhone, listening to podcasts and doing all of this stuff, I might miss a text message about something.
Have you found a podcast app you like on Pixel yet? I
haven't even looked for one.
Okay.
So I haven't set up, basically what I had on there is what is still on there. Let's see, for business purposes, I had my bank app for the credit union. I had Cash App. What else did I have? Sam's Club.
Okay.
Lookout, I think, was something I had to install. And I think that's it. There's not default apps, that was on there. Oh, 1Password, of course.
Yeah.
I have since downloaded Signal and also figured out Signal doesn't let you do what WhatsApp will let me do, which is have the main, Signal on the iPhone and then be able to add that to the Pixel. You can add it to desktop, but it doesn't let you add it to another mobile device. I think maybe an iPad it will, but I want it on the Pixel. That doesn't work. So yeah. Now WhatsApp, I'll be able to just scan the code on my iPhone and then WhatsApp will be running on the Pixel and everything will be fine.
And it'll also run on your iPhone at the same time, which is
is nice.
And you can, I think, run it on the Blind Shell too.
You can. I did actually test that at some point. Setting it up as a whatever linked device. That's what it
linked device. Yeah, that's
linked device. Signal, however, does not support linked devices in the way that WhatsApp does, which is a terrible shame. I did try using Beeper to get Signal onto the Pixel to work, but that didn't work. Beeper is that app that was out there for a while, was letting you pull iMessages into, but it'll bring all of your networks in, like WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, Telegram. Yeah. It brings all those into a thing. So
but it doesn't work?
Not for Signal, it didn't.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why, but I got an error when trying to scan the QR code that I was supposed to scan. So, don't know. Not super important. I don't do a lot of chatting in Signal. I do some, but the iPhone's still around because it has my podcast app on it. Probably if I picked a podcast app, it would just be Pocket Cast, just to make life simpler because I already know how that works.
Yep. I think that's what I'm going to go with if and when I do switch over to the Pixel, for more than just picking it up, saying, "Oh, the battery's not dead yet. Okay, let's set it back down now." Or it's someone says, this app's available on Android, pick it up, go download it, say, man, the Play Store is clunky. And then go back to the App Store and be like, man, the App Store is clunky. Never mind, neither of them are good.
Exactly. But that's funny how our usage has been kind of the same.
Yeah.
Now, what I have done also is I relinked my numbers. So So my
It's
Spirals
so
number.
weird to have you talking and jazz music in my headphones. It's like I'm sitting in a coffee shop talking to you. It's weird. Anyways,
on the higher end of the spectrum, when it comes to things such as how you choose to set up your phone plans, what you really want to do is optimize every penny that you spend on said phone service. And this is what I have chosen to do. So Spirals, the company, it pays for an unlimited line of talk, text, and data with of course, unlimited does not mean unlimited. So that's 100 gigs of high-speed data, 50 gigs of tethering, which is the reason I really picked that plan. Because they do have a $25 a month plan that probably would have been more than enough itself for the tethering. If I ever have to do any serious heavy tethering, I learned that lesson while I was at Gentry. 50 gigs seems like a good bit. But I think I talked about this on the show. They introduced this multi-network add-on feature where you can put a second line on the same phone if your phone supports dual SIM. I wonder if that would work on the blind show. Because you can put two SIMs in. Just has to be two physical SIMs. I wonder if that would work. Any rate, you can put two SIMs have two lines active on the same phone. You can make the second line what's called a child line or multi-network add-on. And for just an additional $10, that line now gets unlimited talk, text, and data with the same limits that you have on the primary line. So if you're on the $25 a month plan, you get 35 gigs of high-speed data and 10 gigs of tethering. Extra $10 gets you a second line with unlimited talk, text, and data. So you can switch your networks within your phone settings. So if AT&T is good here, but then you go somewhere and it's like, I need Verizon now. You switch over to Verizon. You don't have to worry about your data cap. You're not paying for two different primary lines of service to enjoy those benefits. So that's nice. I did relink my numbers up that way. So if I do move back to the iPhone, which I anticipate doing at some point, if for no other reason, I'm going to want to do something, with some of the phone features or something, I'll just have to move both numbers. But the only thing that's going to do for me, the only downside to that at the moment, because everybody's not on WhatsApp, because I don't live in Europe, is I will probably lose some message conversation history. Or at least it won't be available on the other device. But I'm seeing that problem right now too, because Mike sent me a message today, and it came into iMessages. Okay. I haven't actually deactivated that number in iMessage, which is why I think that's still happening. But yeah, a few people that are on the iPhone sent me messages today, of course, because it's Father's Day. Hey, happy Father's Day late to all of the fathers out there, since we're recording on that day. But yeah, so I got a few of those messages, and they hit the iPhone, and I didn't see them until later when I was listening to a podcast. I was like, oh, I didn't do the thing where I turned off my message. So, wonder how long that'll last. And will I have time and the ability to set up blue bubbles and get that to work so I can actually have iMessages on my Android phone?
It's not going to work. I feel like you've tried it before.
I have tried it before, and it didn't work. But it probably is some weird Google Cloud thing that I haven't turned on somewhere or something. I really don't know how it works either. And I don't want to take the time to go through and manually build a project. So I'm trying to let the Blue Bubbles Mac app do all the project building by authenticating it with Google. I don't want to go through Google Cloud and build the project myself following the instructions. It's not that serious, I don't think. Because RCS is actually really great. Now what I need, I'm going to throw in one last request out here just in case somebody from US Mobile listens to the show. I'm also going to send this as some feedback at some point. But here's a feature I would like. T-Mobile has this. I don't know if anybody else has this, but I know T-Mobile has this thing they call T-Mobile Digits. And essentially, I think the idea came from because of how the Apple Watch works on cellular, right? It's tied to your phone. Well, originally it was tied to your phone, and they just shared your phone's number to get messages and calls and all of that. But with T-Mobile Digits, you were able to extend your line to a second phone. So you could have your iPhone and your Android phone, both using the same number, which in theory would keep your messages in sync except for iMessages. But it's not the reason I want this. I want this just so I could just have my numbers active on both phones, and it doesn't matter which phone I picked up. That would be super cool. So I need them to implement that. Implement it so that I don't have to switch over to T-Mobile's network though, because it's crap over here.
There you go. Yeah. And then you can just pick up whatever device is nearest to you and make a phone call and know what number it's calling from and not have to worry about, is this line on this device?
Yeah, would be nice. I'm also probably the only weirdo that really wants that. So,
so if they add it, then you know someone's listening to the show, or they really do appreciate your feedback. So feedback, did you say hold on?
No, I didn't.
No. So feedback, do we want to play in Robin's feedback, and then that'll wrap up the show?
Shots fired.
No, we appreciate Robin. We're just, 50 minutes in, and it's like 8 minutes. So,
no, because I'm not even set up to play Robin's audio in.
We
will. Oh, I mean, if you want to play it in, sure.
Or do you have any feedback/topics you want to chat about?
I don't have any feedback right at the moment, but I do have some topics. I do need to go through feedback. And catch up. I think did I mention on the show about the home assistant getting here?
No.
Or was that a conversation with me?
I think that was a conversation we had. So let's chat about your topics, and we will. I feel like we've said this every week for the last couple of weeks, but hopefully listeners know now why things have kind of been a little weird. Some of the content we pre-recorded, some of the content we pulled from previous content and published an episode of. That was 2 weeks ago, maybe?
Yeah, that was 113.
Yeah, 113. And then last week was very short. I don't remember what that was, why it was so short. And then this week is a little bit of catch-up. And we need to get that scheduled with those people too.
Yep, that's kind of what made me think about WhatsApp too. Got to make that happen. We need to get those things scheduled because we're halfway through the month of June now.
Yeah. Yep, sure are. My convention starts in a week and 2 days for the virtual portion.
So yeah, I got to start gearing up for New Orleans.
Yep, you got like 3 weeks, 2 weeks.
Our guy's gonna go to. We'll do that.
What will we do?
Digital crap together. Our stuff situated. We will do. We'll talk about the home
box down here
system.
at my feet that I need to get off to Jacob like tomorrow or Tuesday because it's got a blast in it, and then it also has that card reader in it for him too.
You find your Apple Watch?
I have not looked. I will have Mallory look in one of these. Did I ever send you the dot band?
No.
Okay, I need to find that too.
Oh wait, nope. Hold on. Yes, you did.
Okay, I did.
Yeah,
I should have still had a piece of plastic around it.
Yep.
You'd have to pull off. Okay.
Yeah, you did. You did send it to me because
Perfect.
that came with the Sense player. Because that box got here the same day that I went up to spend the night with Tia at the hospital. And I took the Sense player. We're going to talk about boxes that have not been opened. So speaking of boxes that are all over the place, I have a box that I was highly anticipating at the beginning of the week, a couple of weeks back. It was the week that we were going to the symposium. I was highly anticipating all this stuff arriving because it was all going to arrive. Everything should have been here by that Saturday. So as the plan was at that time when we recorded on Saturday, none of this probably would have been set up, but I would have been able to talk about how excited I was and had something set up for the next week. And then wham. So here we are. So this stuff is still in the box. What stuff? Well, let's see. There is a Raspberry Pi Compute Module 5 with 16 gigs of RAM and I think 32 gigs of storage built in. That's still in this little package sitting there. That was purchased to go inside of the Home Assistant Yellow that is also still in this box. So that I can set up Home Assistant. Well, actually the Home Assistant Power over Ethernet version because, I love POE.
Everything's POE.
Yeah. Trying to figure out how to power the MacBook off of POE. So that stuff is there. I am still excited about, and also I still have in the box, the Tailwind smart garage door opener.
Okay. So
also still in the box, just to mention things that are still in the box, is an air conditioner that I bought to go in the window in my office that has since been recalled. So, yeah.
Huh. Why was it recalled? Fire hazard?
Nope. Apparently something wrong with the way that it drains water and it doesn't drain out properly. So you end up with water buildup inside of the casing and it leads to mold. And they have at least 150 cases at the time that I looked of reported people getting that mold and breathing it in and all of that. So that's definitely going back. I got to figure out at some point when I remember to have somebody look to see if the serial number is on the box. So I don't have to actually open it.
Yep.
And then make a claim with the company so I can get my money back.
Get your money back or a new one?
Nah, I want my money back. But look, if you screwed it up one time, you probably will screw it up again. I'm good. I'll figure out some other solution for cooling out here. Really, the ideal solution, honestly, would be the mini split.
It would, but it's
$900.
It's a bit much, and it's a commitment.
I mean, I'm committed to the office. Like,
yes.
Like this is probably the best office I've had of any place I've stayed up to this point, because it really is separated from the house. So I don't have to really yell at the kids like, "Hey, I'm about to go record. Be quiet."
Yeah.
I mean, it does need some work in here done to it for soundproofing, because we can hear the cars very clearly when they drive by, especially when it's a loud motorcycle. But
it's a lot of stuff in the boxes, though, still. I know plans can change, especially with everything kind of up in the air, but what's your first project you think you're going to tackle related to boxed up items?
Probably will be Home Assistant, getting that put together, because that's something from, having read the instructions before I bought this stuff. Like, I could do that without any assistance. I am going to need some sighted assistance, I think, to do the garage door opener when it comes to hooking up certain wires. It doesn't seem difficult to do. It's just like I don't really want to spend time up there pulling all those wires to see which ones do what. Like, have somebody look at the colors and tell me. But that'll probably be the next thing. But yeah, Home Assistant is probably going to come first, just because one of them, I'm super excited to kind of play around with it. I think it's going to enhance automations in the house in ways that you just can't do with Home Assistant. I mean, not Home Assistant, with Apple Home, with HomeKit. I've been reading and hearing from different people a lot of cool stuff that you can't do with Home Assistant, such as with a lot of the cameras that you can bring into Home Assistant. You're able to access the motion detection and have that just be a trigger. Without anything else. So like you can split out the capabilities, like, it detected motion, do this thing that's not tied to anything with the camera other than the fact that it can detect motion. So
I wonder if you can, so our camera right now will let you detect motion and it will detect person. It'll say person detected or motion detected. So I bet you could trigger different things to happen based on
if it was a person or just motion. Yeah.
If it's a person, show me that shit on the big screen TV. If it's a person, show me that stuff on the big screen TV. If it's just motion, it's probably the cat. Although every once in a while, the cat comes across as a person, and it's a joke that one of our cats is McGonagall, because,
I'm convinced that's what you got going on, man.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
My doorbell actually detects pets.
Oh, that's
I
handy.
I was trying to figure out like how to go back and look at stuff on the DVR. That's not what it's called. The NVR. Yeah, that's it. The network video recorder. Yeah, that's it. And it was showing me all the different events that had happened, and one of them was like pet detected. I was like, what? Okay. I wasn't aware this was even a feature, but all right, cool. That's great.
Quick shout out to Callum, who listens to the show. And
this is still the show, Callum.
Yeah, we're still in the show. Still in it. Wake up. Don't fall asleep to us. But he made a comment that really made me think about this. So last episode, we had TW114, the scanner showdown. He said it took him a little bit to realize that it did not say the scammer showdown. And Stephen, I think, experienced that as well, because they thought we were going to do like a showdown where scammers call in and we have a showdown between them or something. So yes, last episode was the scanner showdown. And at first I'm like, did I really put the scammer showdown? I had to go look and they're like, no, you put scanner. I'm like, oh, okay. It's just, sounds close enough.
Huh. What's the interesting idea for a episode though?
It is. It is.
Just start recording some calls when scammers call up and
then play them
back into the show.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do that.
I mean, it's easier now than it's ever been in the past.
Right. It is definitely easier than it's ever been.
And I bet the reactions would be interesting if all of a sudden they start hearing this call is being recorded.
Yeah. I feel like I'm going to start doing that when I call people anyway. And they're like, this call will be recorded for customer satisfaction. So when they come on, you're on a recorded line. I'm like, okay, you're also on a recorded line. I mean, look, if you can record me, I can record you. What do you mean you don't agree to the recording? Oh, well, I don't agree.
I don't agree to the recording. And how do I know you're not actually recording me when you tell me you're not recording me?
Yeah, because, you just hook your phone up to a mixer and fire up audio hijack. And there's no notification that you're being recorded. Not that I've ever done that, but, just saying. Well, not that I've done it without anybody's permission. I have used my phone to do that, but definitely not without anybody's permission.
You don't even have to hook it up to a mixer.
There you go. You can also... Could do that too. Could definitely do that too. Go ahead.
I was going to say that's exciting about the getting Home Assistant set up, and I'm interested to hear where that goes and how you end up using that for sure.
Yeah. Also I'm gonna drop a link. I have the bot drop this link on Mastodon at some point. But for those of you not on Mastodon, you can email feedback@technicallyworking.show if you're curious about these bulbs. I'm going to say the name wrong because I'm not really sure how you say it. It's one of those weird names where it like smashed two different words together. It looks like Link Kind, or Linkin, spelled very weird, but I'll drop a link on Mastodon. These have been the best light bulbs that I have had when it comes to setup and connectivity. So, how most smart bulbs, put them in and somebody comes by and they flip the switch because they forgot or didn't know. And then when you turn them back on, like, oh, they're not connecting, or you can't find those lights or whatever. Yep. That does not happen to.
Huh. Okay. Are they HomeKit compatible?
They're HomeKit. They do all the things. So basically they're Matter. So they should work everywhere, but they have listed, HomeKit, Google Home, and, that lady in the can that I won't say the name because that will trigger people's devices. Hey, Alexa, play Technically Working podcast.
Thought you weren't going to say her name.
Yeah, then I decided to troll people. So, there's that. But yeah, they're super nice bulbs. They're fairly inexpensive. Like they're not terribly expensive. You get 4-packs, 2-packs. They do come in different, wattage equivalencies. So I think I bought a pack of 100 watt equivalent bulbs and a pack of 75 watt equivalent, and got 4 of each, for at the time under $80, I think, cause they were kind of on sale. But even regular price are around like maybe, they're going to run you maybe about, I think regular price maybe about $7 to $8 a bulb anyway.
That's not bad.
Which isn't bad. Really? No. And they're good. They're decent bulbs.
I want to get some smart bulbs in the boys' room, because then they can just leave their light on and neither one of them has to get out of bed to turn it off. And if they forget, I can set a timer to automatically turn it off.
Yep. Which is going to be some stuff I'm going to do. It's going to be fun. The other thing that I'm excited about with HomeKit, Home Assistant also is having that camera feature, because I'm going to eventually wire my camera up, my second doorbell up to put it outside of the garage. Is because I can use the motion detection off of that, I can remove and harvest that motion detection sensor that I have out on that side of the house that triggers the external lights to come on. and I can go use it somewhere else.
There you go. See?
So I can recycle it, which would be awesome.
So who asked us about home stuff?
So we've actually had a couple of people ask us about home stuff. And I'm sorry because I'm not going to remember anybody's names except Shazad's, because Shazad this was the last email who asked about the doorbell that we were using, I think.
Yep. So Shazad, we will, as we've said a couple of times, that's what I was thinking of. We will readdress home stuff as Damashe gets Home Assistant set up. And if not then definitely after the conventions, we'll have more to talk about Home Assistant. Or home,
I'll talk about it if I get it set up a little bit, kind of what the process is like. But what we're doing with automations and things like that is definitely going to be an after convention show. Because I think Mike is, I actually don't know what you're doing with home stuff now. Are you back in Alexa or HomeKit or?
No.
Both?
I mean, right now I have our HomeKit stuff set up. Nothing set up with Alexa.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna try to the plan, honestly, for the listeners. So ping Mike and nudge him every now and then is to get Mike also to go get a Home Assistant set up, so then he can use his Echo along with Siri and Google whenever he decides to put one of those back in the house too, and everything will just all be in a nice ecosystem.
All work together. It doesn't matter who says what to who, and then it'll just work. Yep.
Hey Alexa, tell Siri to turn off that light. I will leave people with a tip for HomeKit though. If you have HomePods, and I don't remember where I read this at, but I had my son test it before they left to go to Georgia with their grandmother. Oh, that's where the kids are, in case anybody's wondering. The kids are in Georgia with their grandmother, with my mother. Probably like, what did you do with your kids with all this going on? Yeah. That's where they are. Yeah. But I had my son test this while they were still here, because I finally put a smart light bulb up in their room because they had been wanting one, and we did that. So if you're in a room, I don't know that this works with the phone, but I know it works with the HomePod, because the HomePod has to be placed in the room, so it knows which room it is in. If you tell it to do something to a device that is in that room, you don't have to use the room name. So the example is like, hey, S, turn off the light. You should turn off the light in that room that you're in. You shouldn't have to say turn off the kids' room light or whatever.
Yeah. We had an experience with the HomePods the other day, so we ran out of oil, and we're like, oh, butter will work just fine. Just melt it. It's not the same, by the way, just so people know, in case you're thinking that. And the fish got stuck to the pan, and it started to smoke a little bit. And that set off the smoke alarm downstairs. And Mallory and I both Mallory was gone, notifications on our phone that says alarm detected, and you could tune in and hear what was going on. And then the one upstairs went off, so then we got another alert, because we have the big HomePod upstairs, and it said alarm detected, and yeah, so that feature works. If you're away or if you're in your home and you don't hear the alarm, you will get a notification, and it is a priority notification. That's not what Apple calls them. Emergency notification, maybe. So it pushes through any of your focus
modes. Yeah, that's cool. I have not had to use that feature yet. I've used the intercom to yell at the kids before, though.
Yep.
That works. Cool base. Also, crash detection works.
On the watch or the phone, or both?
Both, because I didn't have a watch.
Oh, that's right.
So yeah, it absolutely worked in that instance. Unfortunately, so it called 911, I think, because somebody didn't turn theirs off or weren't able to get to it, but also knew 911 was on the way by the time we got everybody clear of the car. But it absolutely works. I get notified people. Unfortunately for me, it only notified Tia, which wasn't super helpful.
Right.
But I also haven't, set mine up. That was a spur for me to go ahead and set mine up so that more people get notified if that happens again. Yeah. But Tia did have her set up, so quite a few people got notified, including me, which again wasn't super helpful. But it's like, I was here. I know.
Come on, Apple. Where's your Apple intelligence?
It's like, oh, those two people are together. Maybe we shouldn't send notifications to them that they were in a crash. Like they probably know. Well, they can't respond to the other person. So, yeah, let's not do that. I didn't think about that at the time. That would be a smart feature. Like, oh, these two devices are together. Let's not send notifications to each other. We were just here. We're here right now.
Come on, Apple.
But it does work. So, as I've encouraged people in the past to go set up their medical ID in case you're ever in an emergency situation, first responders are trying to pull that information up so that they can, especially if you take any medications or you have any severe allergies, it is definitely worth setting that stuff up in your medical ID. But also set up your crash detection and your emergency contacts. Again, if you're in a situation where you're non-responsive, first responders will look and they can know who to contact. So encourage people to do that.
Great features that need the user to set them up.
Yeah, you need to set them up, but once you set them up, you're done. Unless for some reason you get upset and have a fight with one of your emergency people, and maybe you take them off the list. But definitely worth setting up. There are features to have. Google, I am certain, has similar. I just haven't looked, but I actually am going to go and look when we get off the call and see how to set it up there too.
Yeah. Well, good. Did we cover the stuff? There's more that we wanted to cover.
There's a whole lot of stuff we got to cover, but we had to fix audio
70
stuff.
Minutes.
I'm also sleepy, so I'm going to go to bed.
I'm going to go eat
we
banana
got more
cake.
shows. Oh man, banana cake?
Yeah, Nicholas is making banana cake.
I
don't know how it's going to be.
Banana chips.
Ooh. Have you ever had zucchini bread?
I have not had zucchini bread. And I think you told me before zucchini bread was good.
Yeah.
We may have had it once, actually, in a box from somewhere.
Oh, my great-grandma used to make it. Anyways, appreciate everyone tuning in.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. Thanks to our tip jar supporters. We appreciate it, for sure. Tell a friend about the show. Share stuff on social media. If you have one of these podcasting apps that is a little fancy and you can share clips and you thought something was humorous, do that. Or you could do it from YouTube because we are on YouTube. So you could go to the episode on YouTube and share a clip. Super easy.
And we've got like 17 subscribers on that YouTube channel, which doesn't sound
up.
like a lot, but we've done zero promotion of it.
Look, for a while, I forgot we even had a YouTube channel, right? 'Cause I just like, wait, are we on YouTube? Are we doing the thing where we send our podcast as YouTube? I was like, yeah.
Ben has probably promoted it more than either of us have.
Yeah, shout out to Ben for all his work on YouTube. We appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
You can get in touch with us. He's on Mastodon as Payon, Payown, at dragonscave.space. I am Damashe, Damashe, at technically.social. And you can follow our bot, TW, at technically.social.
Why do we post links to the bot instead of like your account or my account?
Because I want people to follow the bot.
Okay, that makes sense.
And they may not be following me or you, but they can follow
They might
the
not
bot.
like our content, but they'll like the bot's content.
Yeah. I mean, if you're listening to the show, you should follow the bot because as things happen that you may be interested in, like, we're going to do a live stream or we're doing a weird thing over here, the bot will post that out. And we can always repost the bot if we want to, but it's something directly related to the show. So if you follow the bot, you're just getting stuff related to the show most of the time. I think I might have reposted something that Mike posted that was
Holy cow.
Crazy funny.
There's 4 followers on there.
On the bot?
Yeah. I initially said holy cow because it said 23 posts, and I thought it was saying 23 followers at first, and I was shocked. But 4 followers still isn't bad.
Yeah, we're getting there. There.
The bot is only following one person. I think that's me.
Yep.
Should probably follow you too, just so you know.
Yeah, I mean it probably should, but no. The bot does what the bot does.
Yep. It works in mysterious ways.
It does post out the links to each episode when they go live, though. So there you go. So thanks everybody for listening. Oh, email. We've mentioned it a couple of times. You can send email to us, feedback@technicallyworking.show. I'm going to do that thing that I thought I would never do with show feedback, though, and tell people, like, I have read everything that's come. Well, if it came in the last 2 weeks, I have not read it. Otherwise, I've read all your feedback. We just hadn't worked it into the show because, it's the show. You listen. You know how this works sometimes. But we definitely appreciate the feedback that we get. And we will be bringing it into the show. We're going to summarize Robin's feedback, though.
I'll drop it into Mac Whisper.
He did actually have a really cool tool, and I forget the name of it now that he mentioned that people may be interested in playing it. So we'll get that into the next week's show for sure.
Yes, for sure. Yep. Perfect. I think that's a wrap. And if you were following me on Clubhouse, don't get used to seeing content over there that's not ACB related, because that's the only thing I use it for. But you would have gotten a quick test post today. So.